Hi there. I'm just wanting to do a talk about, well, I don't know. I don't plan it. I don't think of anything. And this is what it's all about, you see, not thinking of anything. Out of your head and into your heart. See, when you become more heart-based, what happens is your breathing starts to change. When you're in your head and ego, that causes stress, and the stress causes anxiety, and that creates shortness of breath. And that then, what's that going to do to the heart? That is shortness of breath is wind, air getting in the way, and powerful air to the heart, and it's getting in the way of the heart. And I believe this is, well, it's going to cause an abnormal rhythm. It's getting in the way of the heart. What we are meant to do is wait until a lot of the air is out and let the heart beat and then breathe. But this kind of breathing came to me because the unexpected spiritual awakening, basically the message was, go within your heart space. Stop letting your head stress you out, Sean, and start feeling more into and go with your heart. I was always very sensitive, you see, but the head was always confusing things. The sensitivity part comes from the heart, but the head was all over the place as well. And head, what does head do? The brain just basically repeats things that you've seen and repeats ideas, and you can never know what it's saying is true or what's not true. That's why you've got to get out of your head, because it's going to create anxiety if you live in your head, because it's just, you don't know what to trust. It's like being married to someone that you don't know if she's faithful or not. You know, you don't know what it's gonna do, and this is what causes people anxiety. I used to have terrible anxiety. I couldn't sit down, and I had this spiritual awakening at the age of 24. I had depression as well, and the awakening happened because, like I've said many times, that I had enough, and it was like, that's it. And then, I was always on my own. I was always the loner. But that's dangerous, because that's when you might access something, All the most intelligent people were all like loners. And so what happened is I started to I was on my own, and then I started to live from my heart. And it was almost like a fluke, but it wasn't. I now know that nothing happened by accident. That God is real, and God is Gaia. God is the infinite love that is. But it all came from that moment of thinking, I don't like the way I'm living my life, so I started to live from the heart. And then when you're living from your heart, you start to become truth. You start to become absolute authenticity all the time, even with yourself. It's quite strange at first, and other people find it strange because you're like that with them. And this is how the reason I'm talking about this is because this is what altered my breathing to being very deep now, because of the emotional changes. You see, everything follows emotion. That's the thing. The emotion is the core, and breathing works along with that. And if someone is super depressed, they cannot work on their breathing because they're too depressed, you know. So my method for breathing, if I'm talking about breathing, is you've got to observe your emotion. Be present. Be a light warrior, not a light worker, a light warrior. And then you will get insight into why you were depressed. You'll start to go backwards, and you'll start to realize that your backward reality, that the past, the way you everything you felt in the past, and the way you're choosing to look at things has led to your reality as it is now. Like, I came in contact with a band lately on YouTube called Enigma, and I liked the title of the song. It was called Return to Innocence. Now, I've watched a few of the songs, and one of their videos is the videos going backwards, and it reminds me on what I'm talking about now. And obviously the titles of their songs and the lyrics sound like a more spiritually awakened perspective. But that's the thing, right? So once you start going backwards and you start understanding. Now, people don't talk of the past. Yes, talk of the past. Because that's the only way you're going to heal. That's why we think of it. The reason we think of the past is because we know that there's issues from the past that need to be sorted out. That's why someone might think of their childhood, or someone might think of a man or a woman that they had a romantic thing with or something. They know that there's unfinished business or something like that. So they go backwards, and that's what we've got to do to heal, you see. And then you can move on. This is how you heal properly, and this is what I done. And then I start to, as I'm doing that, I was starting to forgive myself. And then at the age of 28, the depression just disappeared. And I'm 32 now. So this is how I corrected my breathing. And now my breathing is, very, very deep. I'm sure there are people out there that might have, I don't like to say they were better, but maybe better breathing than me. But I'm just telling you how this happened. And also mindfulness. I think mindfulness happens because when your breathing is very deep, mindfulness is a state where there's no thoughts and there's just love. And the reason there's no thoughts, one of the reasons, is because when your breathing is very, 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 very deep, and you've cured your depression through emotional stuff, you've been present and you've worked out why you were depressed, but also the breathing. When your breathing's really deep and going slowly into your brain, air is very cool. Air has a very cooling temperature about it, and that's going to hang in your head, you see. And that's why when you're in a state of mindfulness, it feels very cool in that brain area. And I think this is acting like I've got an Apple Mac computer, and it's got a fan that goes on when I'm not using it. So I think that's what this kind of breathing does. And how do you get to this kind of breathing? It's just a case of being still. Take a deep breath and relax. And you'll notice as you're doing this, your relaxation is getting deeper and deeper. It's almost like you're in this, when you're enjoying sleep, but you're not sleeping. And I think what you're doing is you're really relaxing the body, and this is how you open up to tantric energy properly, and open up to this life force, orgasmic energy. And when you're doing this, you stop being needy and stop needing an external lover in your life. And then what happens is, this is how people, I've seen it on the internet, how people, they find their twin flame because they've lost the neediness. The twin flame love is no neediness, and that's why it manifests that experience. And I understand now why that is, because you attract when you don't want, you see? When you start to forgive yourself and love yourself, the neediness goes away on this journey when you're doing this. And like I say, I'm just trying to pass the message on. And I know that at this very moment, everything from my past has led to this moment, and I'm meant to be saying this information. See, it's all perfect, you see. And just monitor that, you know, monitor your heart. I want to end on this, before I end the video. Monitor your heartbeat and wait until a lot of the air's out until you need to breathe. Then breathe deeply and slowly and relax and think of nothing. Let all the troubles go. And this is the correct way of breathing, because like I said earlier in the video, most people have short breaths, and you know, that can cause stress in itself, you know, causes you to be anxious. And remember, like I said earlier, breath is air, and the heart needs to be working on its own for a while, a steady beat. And I believe this can create an irregular heart rhythm. And I believe this is the cure for it. I'm just going to end it there. Thank you for watching. Thank you.